my needs were. But I started reading more. I started asking myself questions. And as I started meditating more and more, I would contemplate on what was missing in my life. What was it that I was rushing to get? What was it that, that was out there that would make me happy? And so my journey began. My journey began of self-contemplation. My journey began of self-introspection to find out, what did I want? And let me tell you, that was a big deal for me. Because who am I to think that I needed something? Who am I to think that I was worthy of something? Who am I to think that I was worthy of receiving, love and abundance and nurturing? And I went through this whole phase of guilt and guilt and guilt. And let me tell you, the journey still continues. It's always about awareness and consciousness. And so what I found on my journey are tips and tools and tricks on self-empowerment, on nurturing me, on really getting in my head that I trained people how to treat me. Okay, and I'm going to repeat what I just said because this is a really important point. I trained the people and I taught the people around me, in my circle, in my friends, in my relationships, with my ex-husband, with my in-laws, with my parents, how to treat me. As long as I was unworthy to myself, I was unworthy to them. As long as I was not worthy of respecting me, I was not worthy of them respecting me. And wow, I tell you, that was a huge revelation. A really, really huge revelation. And so I'm making this video because I am going to teach you some of the basic, awesome, very, very basic tips that I've used. But don't mistake basic and simple for not powerful. And they're not easy, but they're simple. And what I mean by that is, easy means it's easy to do. Well, it is not easy. It is powerful and simple, but you have to want it. You have to want it, okay? Because you know what? There is hope at the end of this tunnel. There is. I broke the people-pleaser pattern. I broke out of my prison. Because here's the fact. Nobody can become happy. But everybody can be happy right in this moment. You see, I always thought to myself that if I got this and this and this, and if I got this and this, and if I had a great marriage, I'd be happy. And if I had perfect children, I'd be happy. And if I had the best house, then I'd be happy. Or if I had $1 million, I'd be happy. But the fact is, anything that I can get on the outside world, I can unget. Anything that I can get from the outside world, I can lose. So now, who am I going to be when I lose that thing that was so important to me? I'm going to be nothing. I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be alone again. And so I decided that I was going to look inside. Look inside and focus on what I could just be today. Whether I lost my children, my relationships, my friends, my house, my diamond rings, my gold, which I had a lot of, which are all gone. Who am I today? Right now, without any materialistic things, without any outside things. And the one thing that I found was my God connection. You know, every single person in this world is going to let you down. Everybody. No matter how much they love you, no matter how much they care about you, because they are human and you are human. They will let you down, sometimes intentionally, sometimes completely unintentionally. And you are going to let them down, sometimes intentionally and sometimes unintentionally. But God, He will never let you down. And so this is my first tip for you. Get a connection with your Creator. And call it whatever name you want to. You choose. You get to decide because you're the pilot here, you're the director, you're the producer. Call it Mother Earth, call it Spirit, call it whatever you want, the universe, the highest source. You figure out the word that resonates, that feels good, that looks good to you, that you can touch viscerally. And you make that connection. in your darkness, in your aloneness, when you're crying in the shower, when you think your world has just come to an end and you can't take one more step, because He's there for you. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to just stop, and I want you to connect. And I want you just to feel that feeling of that connection. Because for me, without that God connection, I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be standing here today in front of you having this conversation. And I'm starting this conversation because this is about no power, meaning no. No to the outside world and yes to you. No to the outside world and yes to you. And it starts with baby steps. And I'm here to create a safe environment for you. This is a safe place to be. I want to support you in your journey. Now down below, right here in my blog, I've got some comment boxes. I want you to fill out these comment boxes. I want you to tell me how I can support you. I want you to tell me, what is it that you need from me? I want you to tell me, what is your biggest pain? What is your biggest frustration? Who's hurting you? What's happening in your life right now that you feel completely out of control? I want to create a safe place for you, and I want to be able to support you in a way that you need and that you want. So go ahead, fill out in the blog. I'd love to hear your comments. And I want you to go onto my website, godandenergy.com. And I want you to fill out the rant box. I want you to